Tonight, Chicago and the nation are marking 1 year since the murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer.
A number of events to remember him around the Chicago area, including here outside St. Benedict Catholic Parish on the northwest side. They are holding an event to remember George Floyd's death, to encourage everyone to stand up for racial justice and equality. This group held a prayer service and is now fanning out along Irving Park Road with their signs of support.
It's been a year of racial reckoning since his death.
Yeah, and a year of reflection about justice for communities of color. We committed a team of reporters to break down what's changed and plans to curb violence in a city that seems to be plagued with it. Let's begin with CBS 2's Jim Williams. Jim, you spent the day looking at what's different from a year ago.
Brad and Erica, we've had a lot of soul searching in this country in the last year. The nation has taken a much deeper look at police misconduct and racism, and we know from the past that examination will go on for a long time. The murder of George Floyd sparked the largest call for racial justice in this country since the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. In big cities and small towns, in sports leagues, and in corporate America. The target was not simply police misconduct, but racism across every sector of America.
I keep hearing this over and over. You no doubt hear it too. The world has changed. George Floyd's murder changed the world. But has it really?
We would like to think that it's really changed. It's good that we're talking about it. We've come a long way, but there's still a long road ahead of us.
Chicago State University professor Lionel Kimball sees progress in the last year as blue chip companies, including Nike, Target, and Apple, pledge millions to social justice organizations and pledge commitment to diversity and inclusion in their ranks. More people of color have moved into top management jobs. Still, Dr. Kimball notes that does not address the anguish of many African Americans.
We have people like you and I who were fortunate enough to be in a position to enjoy some of the trappings of middle-class success of the American dream, but there's so many of us in our communities on the South and West Side. It's a challenge to appreciate some of these things.
There are similarities to the aftermath of Dr. King's murder in 1968. Unrest erupted and doors were opened for some African Americans as others were left behind.
Those people with the adequate resources, adequate education, connections, and so forth, jobs, experiences, they were able to really reap the benefits of the civil rights revolution. And those folks without those necessary means were largely locked out of it. Talking about the problem is one thing. Providing adequate resources to address these fundamental racial disparities in our communities is another.
The CEO and president of the National Urban League, Mark Morial, tells CBS News that donors to his civil rights organization doubled in 2020, but Erica, he says a lot more support is needed to address racial discrimination.
And Jim, Dr. Kimball wants to see more resources in the black and brown communities. How does he think police conduct should be addressed?
More black and brown police officers, mental health professionals to de-escalate volatile situations. And Erica, he says that Congress should pass the George Floyd Police Reform Act.
All right, Jim Williams, thank you.